Hello, Cleveland. Welcome to Too Much Effing Perspective. I'm Alan Keller.
And I'm Alex Hoffman. You know, we talk with a lot of entertainers while preparing our show.
And we pick them clean for stories. I mean, when we get done with them, there isn't an ounce of meat left.
Alan.
I don't even think they know what hit them.
Steady on, old chum. Everyone voluntarily shares their stories with us.
Yeah, they may think it's voluntary, but I've got some pretty snazzy psych tricks I learned from binging Squid Games. There isn't an NDA that's up to my sophisticated interview techniques.
I bet Sigmund Freud's shaking in his hobnail boots right about now. But today, we're going into the TMEP show Story Sanctuary and pulling out a hit single for our listeners. And it just so happens to be one about Beach Boy great Brian Wilson.
Yeah, I reached out to multi-instrumentalist Nelson Bragg, who's played with Brian for years, and who I hung out with back in 2002 when I mooched my way through Japan with Brian and the band on their Pet Sounds tour.
You are such a mooch.
Yeah, I was a mooch. They had great Four Seasons hotel accommodations, and I slept on probably every floor in Tokyo, Kyoto, Hiroshima, wherever else. But anyways, I asked Nelson to tell us some good stories, and he said, go away. You know I can't talk about things related to you-know-who. But before you know it, he was huffing and puffing on the floor, and I've got 4 spools of Memorex tape loaded with Brian Wilson stories that no one else knows.
Yeah, so let's just get to Nelson's story. I'm sure it'll give all of us some good vibrations.
Or shitty vibrations.
Huh?
Just listen to the story. You'll see what I mean.
Brian likes legs, girls' legs. He just does, and he's in the front there. And sometimes you'll see somebody who's attractive. And he used to do this little speech before we played Good Vibrations. I have just one question for everybody. Do you want bad vibrations? No. Do you want shitty vibrations? No. How about shaved legs? And then the audience just kind of was like dead silent. And the band is just freaking out. They just counted the tune up. And that was a head scratcher for the audience. We, of course, knew that he was channeling something that he's looking at and that it just came out verbally, but on a microphone in front of 3,000 people. Oops. And we were dying. We were laughing so hard we couldn't even barely play. A perennial favorite for Brian, the shaved legs.
Thanks for joining us for this TMEP show hit single. If you enjoyed it, please follow, rate, and review our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen.
And tune in next time for more great Spinal Tap moments on
Too Much Effing Perspective. Too Much Effing Perspective is a Milwaukee Talkies original. Evergreen Podcast Network.